Hi everybody, I'm Heather.
And I'm Jack.
And we are part of Goin Batty. And today we are going to be making up freezer meals. Alright, so we have some nights of the week where it is like crazy busy in our house. We have ministry stuff that we have to do. We have to eat dinner earlier than normal. And so I'm finding that I don't have enough time to get everything done that I need to get done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, Jack, if you move, we can show them. Back here, I have all my pans set up for the meals that we're going to make. And we're going to do twice baked potatoes. We're going to do chicken and stuffing casserole. We're going to do lasagna. And then in the bag way over there, if you see in the yellow bowl, we are going to make up taco meat. And we're going to put it in a Ziploc bag, and then we're going to put it in the freezer. And that way I'll have all my stuff in there, and I can just pull it out the night before, put it in the refrigerator, let it thaw out, and then we can bake it in the oven. And it just makes dinner just way quicker. So Jackie is my helper today. So Jack, let me ask you, what is that for, that you're mashing meat for?
This is for taco night and lasagna.
Yeah, so we're going to be browning up the ground beef for taco night and lasagna, and then we'll brown up the Italian sausage that goes in taco night separately. So now, if you can see here, what I got here is I'm going through my potatoes and I'm pulling out the biggest ones, and this is going to be our twice baked potatoes. So I'm going to wash these. All right, so I'm going to take my potatoes and I'm going to rub them with a little bit of oil, and then I put kosher salt on the outside of mine, and then I will bake them in the oven. If you want the recipes for most of this stuff, except for maybe 2 of them, I already have videos on twice baked potatoes and the lasagna that I make. So you can go to our Goin Batty playlist and look under the Goin Batty kitchen, and you can find both of those recipes there, and I believe the recipe itself is in the description, so you can find the recipes there. All right, so these are ready to go in the oven. I put them in the oven about 400 degrees. I will check them after an hour to see, like, just, you know, you kind of poke them, stick a knife in, and to see if they're done. But these are ready to go in. And we're just going to bake these off, and then I will show you what I do with them after they're all baked. We're going to put our potatoes, I'll show you here. I've got my oven preheated. Ooh, and we're going to put our potatoes in our oven and let them start baking. Go in. So we are also doing school today, and while I'm cooking, these 2 are working on their schoolwork. So what are you doing, guys?
We're crunching the numbers.
You're crunching the numbers, really?
Math.
You got math? What are you doing, Miles?
I already finished math. I'm doing reading.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna strain this. I mean, this is, most anybody knows how to do this. This is just, you know, draining off the grease from your hamburger. And then what we'll do is we'll put this back into the pan, and then we'll put our taco seasoning in with it. All right, so all of our meat is drained, all the grease out of it, and we're gonna go ahead and put our taco seasoning in it. So I find that it's actually more economical to make up your own taco seasoning than it is to buy the little packets, because I can do this giant jar and it lasts me forever. Like I've had this jar since, I don't know, since the beginning of the year, and I'm just now starting to run out of it. And I'll just have to go buy the seasonings and make up more. So Jack's taco meat is going right now, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with our chicken and stuffing casserole, and I'm going to start by using, now this one I'm going to use some Thrive stuff for the recipe. We're going to do the chicken gravy with it. If you don't have Thrive, you could totally make your own gravy. Like if you roast a chicken and you have gravy, you can make that. You can buy a can of it if you want. But we're going to use this in our stuffing mix. So I have the rich chicken gravy, and I'm going to go ahead and put that in my water, stir it up, let it cook, and then we're going to use that in the casserole that we're making. All right, so we're getting ready to put our taco meat in the bag. Always label taco night, and then put the date on it so you know how old it is, because if it gets shoved back into the back of the freezer and you don't see it for a year, you might be like, what is that unidentifiable mass that's there? So always name it, label it so you know what it is.
So guess what I gotta cook again? Another log of meat.
What's it for, Jack?
It's for lasagna. The other one was for taco night, but this one is for lasagna. Hey Mom, what you doing?
Well, I'm taking our onions, and instead of chopping them by hand, I'm just gonna throw them in the food processor. All right, so our water is simmering here, and I'm gonna go ahead and add our gravy mix to this. And then we're gonna whisk it in so there's no lumpies. Actually, I'm just gonna put all that in there because it's gonna take all that. So, and then we're just gonna whisk that so there's no lumps. And then this is what we're gonna use in our chicken stuffing casserole. All right, so one of the things that I'm going to throw into my food processor with my onions and my garlic is I have some fresh rosemary and some fresh sage. So I'm gonna put that in there to kind of zhuzh up the flavors that are in this casserole to give it kind of that, I don't know, Thanksgiving-y taste. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put that in our food processor when we chop up our onions and garlic. Our gravy has been simmering and it's at a pretty good consistency now. It's, you know, at that gravy consistency, which is what you want it. So we're gonna pull that off the heat. We're gonna add our chicken to it, and then I'm going to saute the vegetables, and I'm gonna put half of the vegetables in the chicken, half of the vegetables in the stuffing mix. All right, so I've got our butter melting in here, and I'm going to go ahead and stick our, this is our herbs and our onions and our garlic. And we're gonna put that in here. And then Jack, my handy little helper, we're gonna use some Thrive carrot dices, and we're gonna put that in here. And then we're gonna use the celery also. I would have used the onions, but we are out and waiting for our order of diced onions to come in. But this also shows you don't have to use just Thrive stuff in something. You can use it along with other things. So we're gonna actually probably use up the rest of this can. All right, one of the things I forgot to tell you was I'm gonna put a little bit of water in this to help the carrots and the celery refresh a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit. And then we're just gonna let the water cook out of it. And I've got this set on about medium-high heat. So this is gonna I'm just gonna let this go until all of the vegetables are refreshed and the onions are translucent. And everything's real soft. That's what you're looking for, is something for it to be real soft. All right, so I have chicken that, remember how I've told you about rotisserie chickens, how I will pull the meat off the bones, and then I will just, I will use it for several different meals. Well, this is what this is. This is some of that rotisserie chicken. And so we're gonna put this in a bowl. And this is gonna be the bottom base for our chicken stuffing. We're gonna put half of this in one pan, half in the other, and then we're gonna cover it with the stuffing. Now, you're supposed to use chicken stock in the stuffing, but I realized I am completely out of it, so I just used water in it. But I think with the gravy that's in this, it's gonna be enough. You also want it to spray your pan first. Like, you don't wanna put this in an ungreased pan or you're gonna have stuff sticking every place. So we'll put that in there. Put this one in here. Put a little more chicken in this one. There you go. And then, whoops, we're gonna just kind of level that out. And I will tell you, I got my pans at the dollar store, and they were two of these for $1, which I think is a pretty stinking good deal because everywhere else are 2 for like $3 or so. Here, take that. So now we're gonna put our stuffing on top of it, and the stuffing will absorb some of the gravy that is in here.
Oh yes.
And it will be lovely and wonderful, and everyone will be happy, and there will be great rejoicing in the village.
We're moving up. Hey, no.
All right, so that is our chicken and stuffing. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cover this with foil. Get your hands out of it. We're gonna cover it with foil. I usually put 2 layers of foil on it, and then I will write on it like fall overnight and what temperature it needs to bake at for the next day.
And who it's for, like.
All right, so now I'm starting our lasagna, and I put some spinach in mine, and this is just going to be the cheese filling. Jack is over there and he is right now browning the meat for it. And so what I usually do with my lasagna is I don't layer like meat and sauce and cheese and meat and sauce and cheese. I will mix like all of this stuff together first, and then I will mix my meat in with my sauce. So that saves me a step of stuff that I have to do. So I use cottage cheese in mine. You can use ricotta. I just find that cottage cheese is a little more economical than ricotta is sometimes. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to put a little bit of garlic and onion in this that I've already chopped up. I've got some garlic and onion that's going to go into the meat mixture too. So the flavors are all kind of incorporated. And I also put some fresh oregano. I chopped it up all in the food processor again, which kind of takes out that step of chopping everything by hand. So here is the onions and the oregano and the garlic that I chopped all up in my food processor. So I'm just going to take a handful of this and put it in here. So when that bakes, it gets that flavor on there. And then the rest of that is going to go into the meat that Jack is browning. All right, so this is our meat for our lasagna. It has Italian sausage and ground beef in it, and then I put our onions, our garlic, our oregano, our basil. It's all in here. And so this is another instance where I'm going to use the Thrive tomato powder, and I'm going to go ahead and make a sauce up. And I'm also going to use some leftover diced tomatoes that I have from Thrive. I just have a little bit of them, and I'm going to throw those in here. You could use a couple cans of crushed tomatoes, and that would work just fine. All right, so I added the water to this. I added the tomato powder, and we like our sauce for our lasagna to be kind of on the thick side. So when you cut into it, it doesn't run out everywhere and stuff like that. So this is almost perfect, and that's one of the things that I really like about the Thrive Life tomato powder is that I can go from either tomato paste to tomato sauce and anywhere in between. So it works out really well for this, but like I said, if you don't have that, you can use a couple cans of crushed tomatoes. You'll have to cook it down a little longer to get it to the kind of this consistency, but you could totally use that. All right, I'm moving on to our twice baked potatoes now. So I have our potatoes here. I have our cheese. I have some Thrive broccoli, and I also have some Thrive sausage because I'm getting tired and I don't want to brown any more sausage. So, and then we've got some green onions. So we're gonna put all that together with this sour cream here and some butter in my mixing bowl. And I'm gonna cut these open, and I'll do it quickly so you guys can see it, and then put them in our pans. So that's the innards for our twice baked potatoes. Now we are going to go ahead and fill these bad boys up. Now you can brown sausage. You can use bacon if you want. We prefer sausage because sausage goes further. And make these, like I said, I use the Thrive sausage. And the one thing I like about that is I don't have to use a whole pound if I don't want to. So this is actually a very economical meal. All right, so here we go. I have 8 meals made up. I would probably use like maybe 1 of these a week, maybe 2 of them a week. And this makes it just a lot easier, like when you have those really busy nights, like if you have Boy Scouts or you have something going on at church, or you have to be away from home, you can pull one of these out. And I wrote the directions on the foil. You can't really see it because the lighting in here just kind of shines back. But so anybody can pull one out. They can put it in the refrigerator the day before, let it thaw out, and then you will just pop it in the oven. The directions are on the top, and it's all ready to go. Make sure that you like and subscribe. If you have any questions, please leave them down below, and more updates as we go. Bye!